All right, so the last retrievable redirect I want to show was just showed to me by Odis Sisk. I think it's a really awesome concept. I've only used it a couple of times, but I want to share it with you guys and get some feedback on what you think. I think it's a great idea with a lot of options. So what we're going to do is we're going to lanyard in again. We're going to take the tail of our line. We could again use a secondary line for this. Find a suitable branch union and pass it through. What we need for this one is an extra prussic. I use a sling that I use for my ascent system because I like to multitask gear. Also, it could be used a short foot locking prussic. Any prussic will work as long as it bites appropriately and well. So I'm going to take this and form an English prussic here, passing through. I like to do a 4 coil to make sure it bites down really well. And the other advantage is it shortens up my sling so it stays closer to the branch union that I'm using. So I'm going to tie dress and set this. And then again, I'm going to clip my line through it. Now we have to keep in mind, just like a foot locking prussic, and how close we can get to the branch union. So we use a 5-to-1 rule. If this is 1 inch, we got to stay 5 inches away. So right here, this is an appropriate length. So what I'm going to do is I can go around my work, and when I want to retrieve it, I'll come back, lanyard in. And for this one, I'm just going to pull the tail of my line. What's going to happen is this prussic's going to pull back up towards the union. Once it gets too close, it's going to spread the prussic, loosening it. So I need to slack it a little bit so that this prussic isn't fully loaded. And I'll pull, and the tail will pull right through the prussic, and the whole thing will slide back down to me. So as long as you can trust your prussic, it's very reliable and releases well. The advantage is that I don't need that 3 times the amount of rope. If I use the tail of my rope, I'm in a closed system. So as soon as I get to the end of that loop, then I can retrieve it and go back. So one way we can make this a little bit safer, if we have extra line or a secondary line, is we can pre-plan where we're going to retrieve it and run that down to the ground. So I'll show you what I do with this if I want to back it up. Since this is a redirect, I don't necessarily feel that it has to be backed up because it's not fully life support. My tie-in point is going to be my life support, but if you do feel the need to have it backed up, again, we're going to go through the same steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie, dress, and set it. Now, what I've done here and how I can back it up. As long as I can reach the 2 tails, I'm going to put slip knots in it. And this will prevent the prussic from sliding down at all. I would just use one that would bite appropriately and without slipping. And knowing that it's not my full life support, I'd feel comfortable with it. So again, there we go. I'm going to climb away, do my work. When I come back to retrieve it, I can pull on the tail, slip knot will pull out, pull on the other one. Doesn't matter if the slip knot pulls out or not, but it'll slide up, pull out, and slide back down to me.